Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for an MP webinar covering February's MP demo and HCM solutions overview. I'm Katie Kreider, Marketing Specialist here at MP. For those of you joining us on a webinar for the first time, MP is a full-service human capital management company. We offer a complete suite of products and services to support organizations through the entire employee lifecycle, including recruiting, HR, payroll, benefits administration, time and attendance, and compliance assistance. We support our clients with cutting-edge technical solutions, as well as a proactive, reliable service and a deep HR and payroll expertise. At MP, we are wired for HR and help our clients succeed by aligning their people strategy with their business goals. I'm excited to introduce your presenter for today's program, Chris Gertler. Chris heads the business development team at MP. He's passionate about helping businesses across all industries find HR, payroll, and recruiting solutions they need to achieve their business goals. Chris has his BA in History and Economics from Hobart and William Smith Colleges. And just a few housekeeping issues before we get started here today. If you would like to submit a question during the program, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen, and we will be sending out the recording of the webinar later today along with the slides. And with all of that, I'm going to hand the mic off to Chris.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining on this February edition of MP's HCM Solutions Overview, as well as a quick look at our actual platform. So I just want to run through a quick agenda as well. So I'm going to start off talking a little bit about who we are here at MP. I'm also going to talk about MP's service offerings, as well as our customer service, our employee engagement, and then from everybody's point of view, the admin ease of reporting and processing your payroll within MP. So we'll touch on that. The biggest thing when I do these webinars, and I want to reiterate, is in terms of questions and answers, please ask them at any point. I'm happy to answer them at any point that I get to it. If I don't know the answer to it, I'm happy to have somebody follow up. Perfect. So let's talk a little bit about who MP is. So we're located north of Boston in Beverly, Massachusetts, and we support the entire employee life cycle. So all the way from hire to retire, we're there for your employees and can provide support throughout all of that. On the payroll side, we have a basic payroll function, as well as a time benefits administration, an onboarding and offboarding platform. We also have an outsourced HR services offering, so that can help your as an executive sounding board for HR related matters, help install HR infrastructure, enable HR technology, as well as ensuring compliance with state and federal guidelines. One of our newer service offerings, but one that clients have used and found a lot of success with, is our talent acquisition or our outsourcing. Source candidates for you. We have an applicant tracking software within our system. We're also able to help provide employee background, cognitive, and behavioral assessments. Piece two, talking a little about employee life cycle here, is that talent management. So it's that performance management through and learn and grow service offering. I'll touch on that a little bit when I get into the demo of our product, as well as helping with employee engagement. So our team can run engagement surveys for you. We can run surveys through it. Our team uses it internally. Maybe past events we've done, or past presentations, or something like that. So that's just a little bit about what MP does and the services that we provide, as well as that whole entire employee life cycle too. So our customer service, I think, is one of our big points here. So any of our MP clients have a dedicated service rep, as well as a dedicated implementation specialist, and they're located right on your home screen too. So at this point, I do want to kind of kill the slide deck, so I'm going to. And I'm going to take us over and just show you a little bit into actually what our product is. So if you look at that, and I believe you should be able to see, yep, you should be able to see this here. So this is using a demo account through the iSolved platform. So this is what you would see as an administrator logging in to our platform. So it's the client landing page. You could see here would have your name, any reminders that you may have set for yourself, and then your account rep. So what I was just talking about with that customer service, you'll see this would be your HCM service consultant. So anybody when you're going to process your payroll, hey, I have a question about what do I do for this person? This person not on the payroll this week, whatever your question may be. Your account coordinator, your customer service person's name would be listed here. Their email would be, as well as a direct phone number for them too. If you were also using the outsourced HR service offering that I spoke about a couple minutes ago, you would also see your HR business partner as well, and with their direct phone number and their email. So if you had a situation with an employee come up and you're like, hey, I maybe don't know how to answer this that well. They're right there on that client landing page. Give them a call, shoot them over an email, and they'll get back to you. Answer there. Also, you can see some quick links. These can be fully customizable. So like for us, as a demo account for, quote unquote, an MP demo account, we have our year-end letter, upcoming webinars, the MP website, anything here that you might want your employees or you as an admin to have access to, it's right there. Also, take a look. You have your calendar here too, with the payroll due date, the pay date, and the run date. So you would be able to see all of that depending on your specific schedule as well. You can see here that next scheduled payroll bi-weekly. It would show you in that next scheduled payroll. Any questions so far? Once again, please feel free to throw them in the chat as we go. If there's anything you want me to go towards, I'm happy to do that as well. What I want to show you here is what it looks like from an employee side. So not terribly different, but definitely a couple things I do want to point out. So this is just an example employee here. So you'd be able to log in, and this is what they would see. So they would see any notifications. Maybe your HR department needs them to complete security training or sexual harassment training. Everything would be right here as documents requiring your review, or sign off on the employee handbook for the new year. All those notifications would be right there if they haven't completed it yet, and they would be able to take care of that right there. They can also see their HR contacts, so you could have your HR manager, your HR generalist, whoever you want them reaching out to internally in your organization, right there with their email too. They'll see their title, they'll see their length of service when they started, as well as they'll be able to see their pay. So you can go in here and see what their pay was here. They'll be able to see their gross pay for that last pay period. You can shift them over by pay period as well. So they'll be able to see what they got paid, as well as their benefit selection. So these ones, medical and dental and vision right here. They'll be able to see their benefits that they've elected there. Up top, you can see what their salary is, where they're located. So they're located in location 3 if you have multiple locations at the California office, and they're in 6. So moving forward a little bit, one of the other things I wanted to kind of point out and show is the processing of payroll. So you have your time entry grid. So you as an admin can go in here and enter in the hours as well as the salary. So you can see here, there's some salaries or the rates. The rates are those hourly, so you can go in and just enter in, 30, 25, whatever. You're able to go in and enter all of that. That'll get logged under the employee if you don't have them doing it on their own on a timesheet or a time clock. Time clocker would automatically fill into this, as well as our time and attendance software allows them to clock in from their phone or clock in from. This is just if you were to have a manual timesheet and only be collecting that time manually. Once you had that, you can go right here to process payroll. You'd be able to lock the timers. So at the end of the week, everybody's either put their time in or has given you the time cards. You're able to go You can commit them. So committing them would let you know what warnings you may have, as well as then preview it and are all set with it. You just hit process. Your payroll right there. You can see here too, if you want to review some of their time cards as well. You have a time card report that you can review, an hours report, as well as the payroll summary. Anything you might need here, so payroll summary, a check register, quarterly tax exceptions. You can look at anything on the tax thing as well. We also have a large report archive built into the system for more of your not so much day-to-day, need something pulled. It's probably in here. Your account coordinator can also work with you and build you whatever customer report you want to look at. And that's something they can do, and that's where the benefit of that customer service rep who is there and you have their email and their phone number, that's where that comes into play. You will also see here that you have open enrollment from right here, as well as a benefit summary. So you can go over to that benefit summary, and you would be able to see for the employees what that cost is for them, as well as on their own. They can go right there, benefit updates, anything from their benefit plans. They're able to go through it. Right now, this demo account that isn't open for open enrollment, so it would have that if it was open enrollment period. The other thing I want to log into and show you is if you go right from that client page over to the iSolve University, is one of the other aspects of MP's offerings is our Share and Perform and Learn and Grow service. So the Share and Perform deals mainly with performance reviews, as well as that employee engagement and allowing them to kind of share their thoughts, or also our performance reviews that allows them to fill theirs out, their supervisor fill it out, and then puts it very nicely next to each other. So you can walk through with the same questions and have a very succinct and efficient performance review process. From here, though, we have courses preloaded in the iSolve category, in the iSolve Learn and Grow section. So you can see here everything from, these are just iSolve ones, but everything from adding new employees, reviewing how to terminate employee, as well as HR management, payroll processing, so how to process, setting up those time entry options, all of that exists in here, as well as you can put courses in here that maybe aren't native to iSolve. So whether you want like here's a security training, maybe you want a security training, these will all be in there. For you and your organization, just showing you kind of how to work through items. So that's that Learn and Grow software. You can see you'll get points based on how well you do, and how many you choose to do, as well as it has a library of these courses. It has course paths as well, so you can make a path if you want. Maybe a new hire. Maybe a new hire is going to have, a couple of trainings that they need to do. You can put that through as well, and they'll have all of that. You can customize exactly what you want them to see as well. Moving back to this, I want to show you something else as well, and I think this is always a question we get asked, is if you go right here and you go to onboarding templates. So you hire a new employee, and in the past, maybe it's been, that you bring them in their first day and they do a bunch of paperwork. Then that paperwork gets inputted into the system, and then the system uploads it to your payroll provider, so it's all there. With MP, we can create a new hire onboarding template. So as you can see right here with this onboarding template, you're able to create it and specify 2 departments. So what this will do is when you create a new template, so maybe from people from sales as opposed to the marketing side of your organization need different documents that they have to fill out and sign off on. You can set that up through these onboarding templates. You would go through and add a new template if you wanted. You can also go through and show what fields that you want them to require to complete. So maybe a name and address, their personal and their contact information, all the way down to, their direct deposit, as well as you can point what pages they need to complete. So these ones will be ones that you'll have to complete. You create the template here, and then you would be able to go right into employee management. You can go to quick hire here. So you'd be able to fill out all their information, any information that you had for that employee. You can put them in through there, as well as back to this slide that we had here, where this is pending employees. So if you just went up to initiate onboarding, you could choose your company, choose the location. So they're in the Massachusetts corporate office. You can choose the template, put in their basic information, put what supervisor they're going to be reporting to, and hit save. That would automatically generate them in this. So as you can see here, you have a few employees with that new hire onboarding template, and you're waiting on the employee for these. This screen would show you what you're waiting on. So maybe you're waiting on their supervisor to get a document together, or you're waiting on the employee to complete those documents. Any questions so far on the onboarding, offboarding, kind of how that process would work? Gonna go out of this if I can figure that. Yep, I'll go back out of this, and then I'm actually gonna come back into that slide deck as well. And I want to just pull up right here. I want to go back to this overview too of MP's software and tie it back into what we were just looking at with an actual look at it. With that payroll, the time and attendance with that module, it's actually pretty cool what you can customize with it. So that's all about keeping track of employees of their time, when they start working, when they finish working, if they're hourly. But you can also say you're, for example, a restaurant. You can also go through and there is a module on there for shift scheduling. So if you want your employees to know when they are going to work for shifts, if you want to be able to assign them shifts, if you want them to be able to have an opportunity to switch shifts amongst each other, and you want that in one spot, so you know where you might be lacking coverage for a certain day. That's absolutely something that you can then have them take advantage of. As well as, for example, say you're working on multiple job sites. We see this often in the manufacturing and construction industries. You can geofence it. So you can say, hey, we're working on these 5 job sites for the next 2 months. I only want my employees to be able to punch in within a certain radius of that job site. So I know they're not like clocking in when they get into the car to drive a half hour to work. That's something we can absolutely set up as well for you. Quick question here. Doesn't the information for onboarding flow over from the applicant tracking side? Yes. So you would only need to enter any additional information, for example, their address, their email address, phone number. If you just wanted to do that quick hire function, so I could see that from a seasonal business side, if it was a, ice cream shop in a coastal town or something, I'm just thinking Massachusetts wise. You would only need that if you're doing that quick hire. If you were just doing that initiate onboarding, you just have to put their information and bring them in from the applicant tracking system as well. That's one of our upcoming webinars. It's just going a little bit more in depth in the applicant tracking, but yes, your answer is that would all flow in from the applicant tracking system, and then you would just have to see what else you would need in order to complete that onboarding. Hopefully I answered that question with what you were looking for. That talent management portion we talked about with that share and perform and learn and grow, that's fully customizable. That's customizable to whatever trainings you may have already that you want. We can work on adding trainings to it. It comes preloaded with a good amount of trainings. The employee engagement with those surveys, if you're our outsourced HR function, your HR business partner can help you kind of work through some of those surveys and how to go about those, some of the good questions to ask. That talent acquisition side is kind of what I was just talking about with that question, with sourcing those qualified candidates. That our applicant tracking software is also iSolve based. So it would allow all the information to flow in one. It's a single source entry platform. So if it goes in through the applicant tracking or through that quick hire, it's going to be there in the system and not require you have to do duplicate data entry. We also can work with you on employee background checks, as well as behavioral assessments too. And then the final piece here is that HR services, so that for you to have an executive sounding board for HR related matters, helping to install that infrastructure. So maybe you need help installing or reworking a handbook. We can absolutely work with that. Ensuring compliance with state and federal guidelines. We've seen this with our clients a lot as during the pandemic, remote work became a big thing. And companies expanded across states. So we've seen this of many of our clients utilizing us for help in ensuring that they're going to be compliant with those as well. Does anybody else have any questions? That's the majority of what MP does in a nutshell, and that was a look at it as well. I think the last thing I'll be annoying about it, I'm just gonna show it one more time because I think it's very important with us, is the fact that your account reps, their names and their phone numbers will be right here on your home screen. And especially with the HR one, it's not a limit on how many times you can reach out. So if you have if you're on our HR service and you have a question, reach out, ask that question. They'll be able to help you guide you through any of those issues as well. But I just love the fact that they're right there. It's not a 1-800 number. The person to contact is right there. So I appreciate everyone taking the time this afternoon, taking a little bit of time out of your afternoon, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I know we've had a few so far, but I'm happy to answer anything that anyone might have. So I'll give everyone a second or two if you have any questions. All right, Katie, unless one comes in at the buzzer, I think I'll kick it back over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. To learn more about MP's full service solutions, I did drop a link into the chat earlier, so feel free to check out our website and see everything that we offer and how we can best help you. Be sure to join us next week for our upcoming webinar, 2023 training, best practices, compliance, and reducing risk. Visit our website to register and to see the full calendar of upcoming events and available resources. We will be sending out the recording of today's webinar along with the presentation slides this afternoon. Thanks for joining us and have a terrific day.